back. Joining me on Kwacha with Teresa this morning is engineer Sharon Musonda, who is the founder and chief executive officer of DICHEM Limited, as we discuss waste management in Zambia. Good morning, Sharon.
Morning,
How are you
Teresa.
doing?
Fine, thank you. And how are you?
Great. So before we get right into the deep of our interview, I want us to talk about chemical engineering. I was chit-chatting with you before the interview, and we spoke about how I never knew about chemical engineering. All I knew of was chemical engineering, civil engineering, you know, the common ones. I never knew about environmental engineering. There we go. So let's talk about your interest. Okay. You could have studied absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Why environmental engineering? What sparked your interest and drew you to it?
Thank you so much, Teresa. I initially studied chemical engineering, apparently, but at diploma level.
Okay.
As my first, not undergrad, because it was a diploma.
Okay.
So after I completed my chemical engineering diploma from CBU,
okay,
I worked for the University of Zambia.
Okay.
I worked for Zambezi River Authority.
Okay.
So when I worked for the University of Zambia, I was actually with the environmental engineering lab.
Okay.
Yes. So we're doing water quality testing and soil tests. It was more of environmental. And then from there, when I joined Zambezi River Authority, I was now the environmental officer. So it's that which sparked, because it's like my now work experience was environmental related.
Okay. Let's quickly go back to that diploma.
Mm-hmm.
When you were deciding on which area to study, why did you pick on the diploma in environmental engineering?
A diploma in chemical engineering.
In chemical engineering.
Yes.
So that's what you started with.
That's what I started with.
Why chemical engineering?
I'll tell you something interesting, Teresa. The times when we're in grade 12,
yes,
we never used to actually apply directly to the university. It's like you had to apply through the school.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was very good at sciences.
Okay.
So I actually applied for production management at the Copperbelt University.
Okay.
And when the selections came out, I was actually put in a program that I'd never heard of before, which was chemical engineering. And when I asked the headmaster of the school, he told me it's a new program and it should be a very good program for you since you're very good with sciences.
Yes.
And that's how I found myself doing chemical engineering. And I liked it because I already used to have a lot of fun, and I already had passion for sciences. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
So then you study your diploma in
yes,
chemical engineering.
in chemical engineering.
And then your interest grows even further.
Yes, into environmental, because I realized that after my work experience that I now had more passion towards the environment, unlike chemical engineering as I had earlier started.
Okay.
So as God would have it, there was environmental engineering was not being locally offered at our local universities and colleges, yes. So just at the time when I decided to now go back into school and do my undergrad, environmental engineering was now being offered at the Copperbelt University.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing, perfect timing. You
Okay.
can say that again.
So let's talk about your journey. You
Yes.
now decide you will study environmental engineering.
Yes.
Fast forward to graduating
Yes.
from the Copperbelt
From the
University.
Copperbelt University.
And after graduation, what were your plans?
My plans were to get a job in the UN, WWF, the big organizations
Yes.
which are concerned with the environment.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
Yes.
Or get a job in ZEMA, because I had actually worked with ZEMA as an intern
Okay.
for a year and a half.
So did you ever think of being a business owner, an entrepreneur?
Yes, I did, but not particularly that I was going to be running a business in environmental engineering. I think I just knew that I wanted to do business, but in which particular field? No, maybe
idea.
owning a shop or
Yeah.
owning a
Not
grocery
in your field of
store.
expertise.
No.
Okay.
I think when growing up, that's what we would see more. Someone
Yes.
owning a big shop.
Yes.
Someone owning a big boutique.
A salon.
A salon, yes.
Yes.
So you'd really say, okay, I would really want to own my own business, but we didn't have really mentors
Yes.
or people would look up to go into technical fields.
I love that you brought the aspect of mentors, which we will get to later on in the interview. But now let's talk about the inception of DICHEM Limited. So you didn't think that you were going to start a business based on your expertise, your knowledge, but DICHEM Limited was born.
Yes.
Let's talk about the inception, how that came about, the inception of DICHEM Limited.
I always get so passionate because it was a beautiful journey.
Okay.
And I remember at the time I was actually offered to do what they called a fellowship in Canada, my first trip ever out of the country.
Okay.
And it was a short course. I think it was for 4 months in Canada at Waterloo University in isotope hydrology. So there's something that happens to me from that experience. There's something that happens to me as we just take off.
Yes.
It's like even my brain just takes off and I start to think.
Yes.
And I love Pompey's song which goes Maganizo Pandeke. Because I really resonate with that.
Yeah.
So as we were now going out of the country, I said, God, this should be a beginning to a lot of things.
Yes.
You know, I just want to, and I think I was in my 20s, maybe 26, 27.
Yes.
I'm thinking, God, when I return, I should return on a different platform altogether. And the way I look at life should be different. And God honored that. As I was now coming, I think we were now flying out of Heathrow in the UK, now coming back home.
Let's talk about how long the fellowship was for.
It was for 4 months.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're flying back home now?
Yes. It was a fellowship which is sponsored, I think, by the UN.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I was now flying back home, and then I said, oh, God, thank you for everything. Now I'm getting back home. So, yeah, so where are we starting from? Because for me to actually attend that fellowship, I had to resign. Where I was working, I was told, you have the qualifications that you need and there's no need for us to upgrade you. Yes. So if you have to go for this particular fellowship or this particular study, you have to resign. Yes. And I opted to resign because I wanted to I was only 27, yes. So I wanted to have a lot of knowledge, yes, in different fields. So coming back, and then as I was coming, God told me, it was an inspiration which I got from within. An
aha moment.
Yes, like an aha moment, yes. Exactly. One day I should own my own company. And that's when I said, own my own company? I'm like, yes.
But
what?
Yes.
And God said, in the particular field in which you have studied. I said, oh, wow. And that was like 2006? 2005.
Yes.
I said, wow, this is what I really want to do, 2004, 2005. And I said, but where do I start from?
Yes.
And it's like, because in my experience, I realized we really had problems sourcing for chemicals, sourcing for laboratory equipment. Yes. And God told me, you've been trying to get this in the areas where you're working. Why can't you now, take advantage of that gap, which you have seen in the, yes, industry.
Identify it. And cater to that need.
Cater to that need.
Yes.
And I said, oh, yeah, because the people that were supplying actually some of them had never been to school.
It's very interesting that you say that, because when I was chatting with Mr. Patrick from WIAC on Monday, right here on Millennium Kwacha, we spoke about starting a business and, the need to do your market research, the need to have some sort of knowledge. And where to start from.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of women want to start businesses, but they don't want to do the market research, the SWOT analysis. You don't know your strengths, you don't know your weaknesses, your opportunities and your threats.
Yeah.
So you knew your strengths.
I knew my strength, and that was from my experience, my work experience. And then I said, okay, now the name. And there was a lot of, not that I've got any like combinations of names,
yes,
like Musonda Engineering. Yes. I said no, and at times I just felt someone might criticize because it's like a face has been added to the company. Yes. So I wanted something that didn't have anything to do with me, a yes, neutral name.
Yes.
And I started to think, okay, which name can I use? So I said it definitely has to do with chemicals, but is it going to be Chemicals Limited?
Yes.
And I just thought it should be DICHEM. Yes. And that's how I came up with it.
Yes.
And that's how DICHEM was born. Voila, I landed the following week. Yes. I went to Pakra and had it registered.
The following week?
Yes, as a business name.
Great.
So it was just DICHEM Enterprise.
I'm sure you've been through a lot of challenges.
Yes.
As a woman in business.
Teresa.
Let's talk about the products and services that you offer before we get to the challenges that you established.
Okay.
And then, ran into in the formation and creation of DICHEM Limited. What products and services do you offer as DICHEM Limited?
Okay, so I'll tell you something. Currently, we are into environmental consultancy.
Okay.
We're into sanitation.
Okay.
We're also into hazardous waste management, and we're doing laboratory supplies. So laboratory supplies was something that we started with. If you check on the original name of the company, we say DICHEM Laboratory Supplies, because that was my specialization, and that's what. So as I grew in knowledge, we now started to expand, because we now started to see the need in different areas.
So many avenues being opened.
Yes. And especially after I had upgraded my studies, then I could now marry it with my business. Great. And that's what I've done.
Great. One of the things that you mentioned in terms of the services that you offer is hazardous waste management. And this morning we're discussing waste management in Zambia. So we take a break, and when we come back, we continue with our discussion right here on Kwacha with Teresa. And we'll be talking about some of the challenges that she has encountered on this journey and so much more. Do stay with us right here on Millennium TV.
You're watching Millennium TV. Who are we? What are we about? Say you want to learn about business or get latest news updates in business news, social and economic issues, stock exchange, latest exchange rates, and all financial matters, or you want to learn on how to manage your money from savings, banking, insurance, to maybe our new traditional way of doing things like village banking. And if you're like me, planning and constantly making sound financial decisions is essential. So I need to keep abreast with upcoming investments, taxes, technology, or entrepreneurship prospects. Interesting, right? So what if I told you by just one click you can learn from mining, agriculture, tourism, manufacturing services, and yes, entertainment industries. After all, the more you know about money, the better financially you will be. So who are we? What are we about? Millennium TV, your first business and financial news television channel. Catch us on Top Star, Channel 95, or follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Millennium TV, we mean business.
welcome back. You're tuned into Millennium TV. You're watching Kwacha with Teresa. And my guest this morning is Sharon Musonda. We're discussing waste management in Zambia. She is one of the recipients of the USAID's We Create Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, who received a 25,000, there we go, $25,000 grant. I'm sure you'll receive it soon.
Yes.
Speaking positivity into your business.
Thank you. Yes, we will receive it soon. Oh yeah, the 25 million. Yeah.
Yeah, we will receive it soon.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back.
Thank you so much, Teresa.
Let's talk about the challenges. You shared with us some of the services that you offer as DICHEM Limited. Let's talk about the challenges that you have encountered as a woman in this industry.
Okay. Teresa, I think as women we have been in the background for a long time. And it's totally, I now have come to a point where I totally understand the men, because I think for a long time they've always associated women to be in the kitchen or a receptionist.
Yes.
And now if you now and try and go into these male-dominated areas, it's like you're actually going into their bedroom, into their privacy.
Yes, yes.
So they'll look at you like, so what have you brought to the table?
Yes.
And what makes you think you can do
Yes.
this, you know? And I thank God for being who He is in my life. He gives me the courage, He gives me the confidence, and insight into different. I always get insights from God on what I would like to venture into.
Yes.
And I found myself now doing consultancy in waste management through inspirations from God, and also just being open-minded and keeping my eyes open for opportunities where I can now, venture into.
So what challenges have you encountered along the way, apart from being in male-dominated fields? Most of these fields are dominated by men.
So the challenges that I've encountered as women, firstly, is capital. Because I'll tell you something, Teresa. Being a woman and married, so you find that most of the times you have these, if you're owning property, it's co-joint.
Yes.
Yeah, you're owning it together.
Yes.
And you rarely have your own title.
Yes.
So meaning that if you don't have a title to a property, it limits you on where you can actually get financing.
Yes.
You can't go to the bank.
Yes.
You can't go to microfinance and get, financing.
Yes.
So that has been a challenge. Secondly, it's just people having confidence that the woman is able to deliver.
There's not enough confidence
Is not the people
in women.
Yes. Okay, firstly, other women, maybe I think I've seen other women who are also entrepreneurs not having the confidence
Yes.
that they can get certain levels of business.
Yes.
And then also on the part of the people giving business, not
Yes.
not having so much confidence that the
in
women are able to deliver.
Deliver.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are the
challenges.
Yeah.
So one of the first challenges that you mentioned was financing. And you mentioned briefly before the break about the 25,000 that you managed to get as financing. Let's talk about your journey with WEAC Zambia. How did that come about?
So my journey with WEAC Zambia, it has been one of the beautiful aha moments in DICHEM.
Yes.
I actually learned of WEAC on Facebook.
Okay.
And they were recruiting for our program, Academy of Women Entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And that's how I learned about it, because they were the ones who were hosting that, the particular program. But my journey with WEAC has been nothing short of tremendous.
Okay.
It has totally brought a different ball game into my business, because as I've earlier on mentioned, the way I started my business, it's like you just want to be this thing, but how do you get there?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would encourage women out there, if maybe you have a big business idea, you have a big dream, and then you just don't know how you're going to implement it
Yes.
or where to start from. I think the best place where you can start from
Is
is
WEAC.
WEAC.
Great.
WEAC should be your first stop, and then they'll take you through your journey.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the financing. How did that come about? How were you picked? Did you apply for the financing that you got?
Okay, so we applied for the program, for our program,
Okay.
and we had interviews. We were interviewed
Okay.
based on you had to come up with a project, a
Yes.
business proposal that you had to share with them, and then if they buy into it, then you would be actually be
Almost
put.
like a Dragon's Den pitch. had to
I
pitch?
think. Yeah, I think it was maybe a 3-minute pitch.
Okay.
It's an interview, but 3-minute pitch.
Okay.
So you had this panel of maybe like 7 people.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you just tell them about your business plan.
Yes.
Yeah, what type of business and how is it going to benefit the community? Those
Yes.
are the things that they were concerned with.
Yes.
And yeah, I presented our
Yes.
business plan, and I was picked for the program.
Okay.
Yeah, I was picked for the program, and it has been a lovely journey. It has been a lovely journey. We've learned about financing, learned about how you can run your business successfully and efficiently,
Yes.
how you can do the recruitment process, it actually takes you, there are opportunities when they even had to take us to ZDA, because at times we hear of these organizations, but we don't associate them with the businesses that we are running.
Yes.
So we were now shown the synergies
Yes.
that exist between our businesses and such organizations like ZDA, those who are in farming, AGCO. They actually expose you to a lot of organizations which can help you run your business.
Great.
Depending on the field that you're in.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that you spoke about is waste management that you're into as DICHEM Limited. Do you think we have a waste management problem in Zambia?
Yes, we do, Teresa. So I'll take you a bit back on how I found myself in waste management. So we're environmental consultants.
Okay.
So we had a contract running with one of our clients dealing with waste management.
Okay.
And then currently in Zambia, I'll talk about hazardous waste management.
Okay.
We don't have a facility
Okay.
where we can actually dispose of your fluorescent tubes, your the doom when you spray your
Yes.
pesticides and insecticides,
Yes.
where you can actually properly dispose
Close
those
them
things
off.
off.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Yeah.
And what used to happen is the big farmers, the big commercial farmers, with their containers, after they use the pesticides and everything,
Yes.
they had actually to now export to another. Yes.
Wow.
And the process is ridiculous.
Yes.
And you find that people would really want to manage this hazardous waste properly, but there are all these barriers.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I saw the business opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the proposal I had put in to WEAC and our.
Great.
Yes.
Sharon, it's been such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you
Let's
so
talk
much.
about DICHEM Limited, where you are found, your physical address, your contact details.
We are found in the showgrounds, CV13, Commerce Village, right opposite Silver Foods. And our contact numbers are 0966 458 714 or 0976 146 479. So just after the American, if you're coming from livestock, you turn to your right. Just after the American Dome, you find Commerce Village, and that's where we found CV13.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Teresa. The pleasure was all mine as well. I've enjoyed
Lovely.
the interview.
Great.
Thank you.
There you have it in this edition of Kwacha with Teresa, discussing the issue of waste management and the benefits that she has received from WEAC Zambia was engineer Sharon Musonda. Stay with us right here on Millennium Kwacha.